Welcome to the Shabby And Man podcast. We are partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters,
and everything else in between. Now, you know what we're going to talk about today?
Tell me. Surprise me.
Well, come on, you must have guessed. Everyone's talking about one thing. So let's start with Pathaan. I think SRK is back. Now, as we record this, it's made over 500 crores, hasn't it? In national, international markets, Indian markets. So, what we can say with surety is that it's a bona fide hit. Correct? Do you agree with me so far?
I do. What we can also say is that it's one of those rare films that we have actually watched on the big screen when the rest of the world has seen it as well. So we can give you a first-hand account when people are talking about it and not, be bothered to not see it until it streams on OTT and then kind of watch it and review it.
Well, first things first, I think we should probably talk about what we thought of the movie.
Yes.
Agree? Now, I don't think Shah Rukh Khan's the best movie. Yeah, Personally, I think Veer Zara, Chak De India are far better movies
for me.
But that's not the point here. The whole spectacle. Actually, when we're talking about it, we might as well admit it was quite a mashup of the Avengers, Mission Impossible, Bond movies. There was that scene on the ice. In this podcast, there might be the odd spoiler, by the way.
The odd spoiler?
Yeah, because you guys always accuse me that if I see something, I give it away. But I'm trying my hardest not to.
No, but I like somebody...
the only thing missing was that Ashutosh Rana wasn't wearing an eye patch like Samuel L. Jackson, because there was so many elements of different movies. But, go on, what were you going to say?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely.
Oh, no, I loved it as well. The script could have been a bit tighter. There was huge gaps, and I think there was a bit too much CGI in the train sequence. Yeah?
With Salman, yeah.
With both of them, Shah Rukh and Salman.
Yeah.
Just not single out Salman only. But, this was much more than a Bollywood movie. This was, in a way, it was a way of the public showing solidarity with Shah Rukh, because he has been so shabbily treated by the right wing.
Why are you sounding so happy when you're saying that he's been so shabbily treated?
No, he has been very shabbily treated.
Yeah.
Was I sounding a bit happy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not used to talking near the phone for once. So I'm quite excited to hear my voice. But so it wasn't just him who was shabbily treated. It was also, let's face it, his family as well. They're all ensnared in this whatever happened last year. We'll gloss over that. You can go back to one of our earlier podcasts to find out more.
Not last
was it 2 years
ago? 2 years ago, yeah.
And I think this was like everyone else showing support. And it's great for Bollywood also, is it not?
I'm just looking at the phone. I think it was about 55 minutes ago when you said, so what are your views on the film? And then you started talking again. So your views are, summarize again. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Your classic sitting on the fence. Oh, it had huge loopholes. Oh, there was a lot of CGI. Oh, they were name-checking Mission Impossible and Jack Reacher.
They didn't name-check anything.
No, not name-check, but that's what they were inspired by very clearly. But I liked it. Oh, but this was more than a film. What exactly? Summarize, please.
I like the movie.
You like the movie.
But I don't think it's Shah Rukh Khan's best movie.
All right.
But I'm glad it did well.
Okay, there you go. I liked it immensely. And this is going against the grain from the feelers that I've been given by my listeners on radio who were quite disappointed with the film. I enjoyed it immensely. I went in there with zero expectations.
It is an out-and-out action movie.
It is an out-and-out action
movie. If you're looking for a love story and all that kind of stuff, it's barely there.
Yeah, so that's what even I'm saying to people, that first you have to be very clear about what your expectations are from a spy thriller like Pathaan. Secondly, I feel that it's one of those films where Shah Rukh is not playing the conventional chocolate boy Bollywood hero, and he's playing his age, and I think he looks really good. And he's pulled it off brilliantly. Thirdly, I have to say that the plot was, again, something which is quite ambitious for a Bollywood film, for a mainstream commercial Bollywood film. It wasn't your traditional, there wasn't really a traditional romantic storyline, if you know what I mean. And that is something I admire and appreciate. Aditya Chopra, Yash Raj films, they had a lot riding on it. This film had to work because last year they had 4 massive flops, starring some of the biggest names in the industry, from Akshay to Ranveer to Ranbir. So this is one of those things which had to work. It was almost a sink or swim, make or break scenario.
And this is still going under the 50 years of Yash Raj films.
This is the biggest film on the Yash Raj 50 slate. They, pumped a lot of money into it. And for once it was good to see that, here was a film, an action film, which did what it promised on the tin. And I thought the story was good. Yeah, of course there were loopholes. Of course it wasn't Shah Rukh's best by far. But I think...
They spent a lot of money on it.
It was tightly edited. It wasn't one of those films where you thought, ye scene, they have, ye to usko, zabardasti dala hai, yeah, only because it's a Bollywood film. I don't think there were any bits like that. It was too loud. I don't know whether it was Pathaan or whether it was the cinema that we were watching it in. I just felt that it was consistently very, very loud. But I enjoyed it. There's absolutely...
I also liked John Abraham's baddie.
Yeah, I like that all characters had shades of grey, which is something you don't see very often in Bollywood. All 3 of them, Shah Rukh, Deepika and John Abraham. Also, I have to say, when they dropped the 2 songs in the last week of December, the songs did absolutely nothing for me. I felt they were very average songs, and I know they stirred up a lot of controversy because people had trouble with Deepika wearing an orange saffron bikini or whatever, which was completely a non-issue, I think, for anyone who's watched all these foreign films, Western films. But in the context of the film, the songs work, So I do think that...
Well, there's only one song. One song is right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end, on the end credits. And there's a lot of debate because this is part of Yash Raj's spy universe, and because this is being billed as film number 4 in the spy universe. The first 3 being Ek Tha Tiger, Tiger Zinda Hai and War.
You have said that you like...
I liked Tiger Zinda Hai immensely. It's not something I say often about a Salman Khan film, but I think both Salman and Katrina Kaif were brilliant in that. War, I know you and I have seen War, but it's not something that left a lasting impression.
No, I thought that had a better
a lot of people are saying.
A better storyline.
Yeah,
but a lot of twist in that.
Yeah, that a lot of people are saying, but I don't know. Maybe because it has something to do with the fact that we saw it on OTT. We saw it in lockdown, right? On Netflix or wherever it is streaming. So my verdict is that it's definitely worth a watch, and if you do plan to watch it, then don't postpone it for it to appear on OTT. Go and watch it on the big screen because it will not have.
I have to admit, I heard your review on the radio, and you did say that you thought it was just the right shade of patriotism. Yes, I thought so. Because sometimes it can be a little too in your face. They can go over the top, and it can sound a bit jingoistic. But I think you think of Mission Majnu?
A bit like. Again, I can't comment on that because I haven't seen the film yet. But that is one of the things that people said about Mission Majnu or any of these other traditional patriotic films. They overdo that Bharat Mata Ki Jai and all of that. So this was a fun mix of entertainment, action, all of them really looking good. Some of the most beautiful locations seen in a Bollywood film, like Siddharth Anand, the director, pointed out that that motorbike chase on a frozen lake, that was the first time they had shot. I think it's in Serbia. It's the first time that any Bollywood film has shot in that part of the country, and so they've taken great pains to show something that hasn't been done before.
A lot of the movie is set in Spain.
A lot of it is set in Spain. People are already talking about a sequel. They're talking about a spy universe that brings the various elements together.
Shah Rukh Khan himself has mentioned a sequel.
No, but he just said, if Siddharth makes a sequel, I'm all for it. That doesn't mean they're making a sequel tomorrow. But then, of course, the reason why they set up a spy universe is because going forward, they want to bring these other elements from the other films together at some point. Whether it is Hrithik coming in or Tiger coming in, or some people are saying Katrina and Deepika together in a film. Many people are saying Dimple Kapadia had such a fun role, inspired by M, clearly. Why not give her center stage, and why not flesh out her backstory? So this could go anywhere. I think they've made a great start.
I know many people want the Zoya and Rubia.
Yeah.
Rubaya.
Yeah. Rubai.
Rubai.
Yeah.
I just add an A into everything.
Sisterhood, the Zoya and Rubai sisterhood, to kind of, give them another film. Funny thing, fans of Malayalam films were up in arms yesterday because apparently one of their biggest superstars, Mohanlal, is shooting a film.
Yes.
Mohanlal is shooting a film right now, a spy thriller right now. It's called Ram. And someone apparently leaked the storyline. They're about to wrap their shoot. They're almost done. And someone, one of these people, for instance, Pathaan, I think within hours of release was leaked online, right?
It was, yeah.
So somebody leaked the storyline, and
not that it made any difference because it still stormed every box office.
Yeah, absolutely. So this film Ram with Mohanlal, it's a Malayalam film. So when Bollywood fans found out what the story was, all of them said, "Oh, this sounds exactly like Pathaan," which annoyed Malayalam film fans no end. And they had a point when they said that, look, Pathaan doesn't have a unique storyline. Every spy film has a spy gone rogue, has a baddie, has girls, has guns, has gizmos, has car chases, dishum dishum tishkyao. In case of a Hindi film, you'll also have teen char gaane, 4-5 sentimental dialogue, maa ki taraf se. All of that is part of the spy thriller mix. So it's not something unique that Pathaan has done. It's the treatment. It's how you bring these elements together. So I think it'll be very unfair to say that just because Mohanlal plays a character called Ram, who's a raw agent gone rogue, that it is going to be exactly like Pathaan or War. Even in War, Hrithik Roshan is this guy who's gone rogue, right?
Even in this movie, you don't want to give any spoilers away, but someone goes rogue.
I wonder who someone is.
And talking about girls, as you said, what do you think of Deepika? I think she deserves a Bond movie very badly now.
She does. She looks good. She looks fantastic. And I think she's... I'm not the biggest Deepika fan. I know she looks like $1,000,000.
Have you seen that XXX movie? She was good in that.
I've not seen that. But so I'm not... I've seen her in Bollywood films, of course. I'm not her biggest fan. But I do feel that her character worked and she looked beautiful. And she did what she had to do in the film. And going ahead, you can see Deepika being cast. The next one that she's doing, which is more or less the same genre, is Project K with Prabhas and Amitabh Bachchan. And this is again, people have high hopes from this film because they're saying that it's going to be laying down the foundation of a different kind of a unit, not a spy universe essentially, but a world of warriors. And already they have announced that they're going to make it in 2 parts. So it's going to be a bit like Bahubali. So let's see. Exciting times for Indian cinema, I feel.
No, I was mentioning John Abraham, who is the baddie. And we found, wasn't it so strange that we found this photograph of you with him? How many years ago? It must be 2004 you said? 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lovely caption underneath saying, "Little did I know that was the last interview I was going to do and take a break for 11 years from radio."
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
But he was the hottest thing then because he had done Jism and he had just kind of made his Bollywood debut a couple of years ago. Him and Bipasha were the talk of the town. Bipasha came as well.
They came for Dhoom, I think, didn't they?
They came for a lifestyle event.
No, but they came to promote a movie.
And that was early days even for him. So it's quite fascinating to see how he has kind of now become an action star. His trajectory, and I think he realized early on that he was not going to work as your conventional Bollywood Rohit, Rahul, Prem.
No, but he's come from that long line of models who become.
He has. So I think action is what suits him best. And as he said in an interview after Pathaan, that Aditya Chopra has always known how to mold my character on screen to have maximum impact. When I did Dhoom, people were talking about it. When now, even in Pathaan, people are saying that, you've done action before, but there's something about the way a Yash Raj film...
I think in real life, John Abraham is very disciplined. He eats certain foods. He's
a vegetarian, right? A vegan or a vegetarian.
So. Yes, he exercises very regularly. So he's quite committed to his. That's true, and he's not done too badly as a producer either. He produced Vicky Donor. He's produced quite a few films since then. Attack, which I saw last year, that was his production as well. So he's not done too badly at all. So yeah, I think. So what is your verdict? I've told you that I liked the movie.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I don't think my mum and all would enjoy this movie personally.
Yeah, I think it has a more or less, I wouldn't say a niche audience, but obviously people who enjoy action films, spy films, it is for them, right? If you go in there expecting a Kuch Kuch Hota Hai or a Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham or, one of Shah Rukh's many other big blockbusters, then obviously you are going to be disappointed. But if you like an action film, if you like a spy thriller, then I think, and if you like Bollywood, I think it's definitely worth a watch. That's what they said was the most incredible thing about Pathaan, that love it or hate it, at least people in such large numbers took the decision to go and watch it for themselves, which is why it has made the amount of money that it has. So I think that is quite encouraging.
Many people have said that they were also because there's so many Shah Rukh Khan fan clubs and the love of this man.
Yeah.
That they all, whether they wanted to see the movie or not, they went to see it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were trying to show, it became very political at some point as well. They were trying to show support and solidarity with a man who's given them 30 years. 30 years of wonderful films. And he was treated rather shabbily. And I think this is just one of the ways that you can show your support for someone you admire. And there you go.
What would be your favourite? You said Raz, did you? If I said name your favourite Shah Rukh Khan movie.
No, I said Rais. Even Devdas. I loved him in Devdas as well. I can't even remember all the Shah Rukh films. Chak De India. I loved him in Chak De India. And none of these, I think, have been massive hits. The big ones are all the ones he's done with Aditi Chopra and Karan Johar, obviously.
DDLJ types.
DDLJ types. But he's a brilliant actor. There's no denying it. And as he himself admits in so many interviews, there are certain films that you do for the money. There are certain films that you do because you want to work with a certain director. Some you do purely for your art and your craft. So he's ticked all the boxes, I feel. And
And I think we've ticked all the boxes of talking about Pathaan.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it. I think it's going to be, I think it's still going to be a film that people will be flocking to, and a film that will be talked about when we do our next episode in 2 weeks' time. That's what I feel. Because the euphoria doesn't look like something that's going to die down very soon.
Hasn't one or two movies that were supposed to come out this week kind of postponed it?
Yeah, Shehzada.
So they don't kind of clash.
Kartik Aaryan's Shehzada kind of said, okay, we're going to postpone our release by a week because out of respect and love for Shah Rukh. Read it whichever way you like. But
though it's opening at the same time as Ant-Man, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So because there are so many other films lined up, it's hard to avoid a box office clash now. But what a way to start 2023 for Bollywood. That's what people are celebrating.
No, it all depends on what comes next.
Yeah, that's
Will Bollywood be able to sustain itself?
Yeah.
And have hit after hit?
Yeah.
Which I'm not quite sure they will.
So many related stories.
I feel like this is an anomaly,
But there are so many...
Things are going down right now in Bollywood, and this is just...
one of those things that people wanted. Yeah. But there are so many related stories which kind of, made you feel quite happy. For instance, there were almost, I think, about 100 independent cinemas that had closed during COVID that decided to open their doors because they knew this was going to be...
That's the way we used to watch movies in a single-screen cinema.
Screens. Yeah. So there is much to be said for a big commercial Shah Rukh Khan entertainer, giving the industry a shot in the arm that it desperately needed, especially after COVID.
I once remember in this village I lived in, I went to see they were showing old classic movies, and they showed a movie which was definitely based on James Bond. Because the baddie had those knives come out of her shoes, like From Russia With Love. And it was the Dharmender movie called RK, which I love. But I was the only one, it was in a proper village, I was the only one in the balcony, me and I think 600 mosquitoes. And I felt like the balcony is going to collapse any minute now. But I love the movie though. So a wonderful memory I have. Of single screen cinemas. Chai Ai, Moomphali Ai.
What do you mean like they came and delivered it to you to your seat?
Yeah. Like, don't you?
Are you sure you weren't in a restaurant watching it on a big projection
Don't you have
screen?
These people walking up and down the aisle with ice cream tubs? The same way there, garam masala.
Chana jor garam.
Oh,
okay. I'm not going to ask you which village or which cinema it was, but the last week was quite busy actually. We saw Pathaan, but I also saw another concert, the Ghulam Ali farewell tour, that I'd like to talk about.
Oh, name me that famous song of his, the song that everyone knows. Thodi si jo peeli or something.
Hangama hai kyun barpa, थोड़ी सी जो पीली है, डाका तो नहीं डाला, चोरी तो नहीं की,
Yeah.
चुपके चुपके रात दिन, आंसू
yeah.
बहाना याद है. He's got so many.
I love those songs.
So this was meant to be his farewell tour, and it was meant to be 3 generations on the same stage, him, his son, his grandson. It was a bit of a disappointment, I have to say, because
Why
Ghulam
would you
Ali,
say that? His songs are so good.
his songs are very good, but he is 82, and I think his voice...
You mean in terms of
Yeah,
his voice? And
his voice is not what it used to be. But because he has such a gleaming legacy, because people remember...
That's very Bob Dylan-ish. You know, Bob Dylan is Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
And you don't... And now I've seen him enough times to know that you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It could be brilliant, or it could be him just mumbling, not singing a song you've ever heard of, and not understanding what he's saying.
Yeah.
Or it could be something just amazing. And that's the chance you take with him.
That's the chance you take with artists like these, those who've had a gleaming career, those who've, given you gems that you have grown up listening to. But that's what happens. So it begs the question, at what age should artists really be doing their farewell tour? And, obviously people were applauding, but they were also disappointed at the same time.
No, but it
heartbroken.
depends. No, it depends, because there's some artists who are quite long in the tooth.
Yeah, you say that Paul McCartney and Elton John can
Paul
really do it even
McCartney,
now.
Elton John, Rod Stewart, Rolling Stones, they're all still touring.
No, they're touring, but are they really?
No. And
I know they're touring to packed houses. I'm not even denying that. But are people applauding their past, or are they actually enjoying what they're listening
They're
to?
all delivering the goods. It's true that the songs are all from their past.
Yeah.
They haven't actually done anything worthwhile
In the last 20 years, probably. But yeah. So it was.
So it's mixed emotions, but
mixed emotions, yeah. Because on one hand, you're just glad to have the opportunity of listening to them live, which is always an amazing experience. But on the other hand, you're thinking back to the days when they were at their peak, and each of these songs was pitch perfect and beautifully rendered, and you can kind of see no one is spared. Everyone has to age someday, and then that takes a toll on their voice, obviously. But anyway, it is what it is.
Look at Tom Jones. He's in his 80s now. Oh, my God, what a voice he's got.
Yeah, and the energy. But yeah, those are exceptions, I suppose. Well, that's it then. I think it's time to wrap this episode. Pathaan and Ghulam Ali Sahab.
उर्दू की कोई कोट सुना दो फिर.
नहीं, ऐसी रैंडमली कोई कोट थोड़ी सुनाऊंगी. बता दिया गुलाम अली साहब का गाना, हंगामा है क्यों बरपा, थोड़ी सी जो पीली है, डाका तो नहीं डाला, चोरी तो नहीं की.
With that, we'll say bye-bye.
Until next time then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.